Beginning with the end in mind, we'll be doing some color mixing today. Make sure you put your name and class code at the top. Monochromatic color scheme is painting with one color. So when you get your plate, you'll find white, black, and the color. Today I'm going to start out by making the lightest tint possible. I'm taking my green with a ton of white and I'm placing that into one of the wheels of this color. I'm adding a little bit more green, a little bit more white. You can see it a little bit closer. As long as you see the difference between one tint and the other tint, that's great. Fill that in. Because as you can see that on the wheel, you'll see a change in color. I found as I was doing this project, I saw that I could make more tints than I could in shades. So as I filled this in, you can see those three that I just painted getting a little bit darker green, a little bit more green, and then I'm just going to go ahead and paint in each part of this wheel every time, adding a little bit more green to the white. As I continue around, I continue getting more green, more green, more green, until I have just regular green straight from the tube. So as you can see right there, that looks really great. I've got different shades, different tints. Now I'm going to wash out my brush because I don't want any white. Dry my brush. Once I've done that, now I'm going to go to the other side of the wheel, the part where I'm making shade. You won't need a lot of black as you add in, because remember, I'm trying to make a very gradual change. So as I add a little bit of black to my green, I'll go ahead and paint that in so that you can see the difference between regular green and a shade of green. Just a tiny little bit of green. Now as I continue along the circle, I'm going to add continuously a little bit more black, a little bit more black. You'll notice right from my plate, I'm not adding a lot of black at a time, just a little bit. If you notice that you're getting the same result or the colors are pretty close, well then add a little bit more of what you'll need. So as I continue going around, I do take my brush and I go slowly when I'm next to those lines that are in the wheel. So as you can see with my next one, I'm going to go ahead and mix my paint, go slowly on the outside line of the wheel, and then I'll paint a little quicker inside. Again, add a little bit more black, a little bit more black. And I know sometimes on this screen it's hard to tell between each one of the parts of the wheel because that's what I said at the beginning, is it's going to be kind of difficult to do your shades because the black gets to be so strong. But I hope as I get this closer that you can see a little bit different shades on the shade side. Okay, again, wash out my brush, and now I'd like to dry my brush and get down into those bristles. Make sure you get that all the way cleaned off and dried off before you start working on the bottom. As you can see, the bottom section, it says hue. Hue, remember, means the color, straight from the tube. So I filled those in first. Here's another box that says hue. Fill that box in with the color without any mixing. My little pie piece down here, again, where it says hue, I will paint that in hue, just that one color. So here we go. I'm going to do the same thing that I did above, defining what makes a shade. It's my color plus black making a shade. I'll go ahead and take that same color plus black, and fill in my shade over here too. I didn't have to wash my brush. I was thinking, oh, I should have just filled that in right away. Okay, so now that I've got my hue and my shade, again, wash out the brush, dry the brush whenever I go into another color or a new color. Wash the brush, tap it to the side, dry the brush. I'm using the same towel more than once. And now I'll go ahead and make my tint of green or my tint of my hue. I skipped the tone right now because you'll see that in just a moment. I'll do that part last. As I've taken my tint, filled that in, doing the same process, washing my brush, filling that in white, wash the brush, dry the brush. Now I'll go ahead and get back into my tone. The tone is white and gray, or excuse me, white and black to make gray, and then taking that gray with my green and mixing that. That makes a tone of my color. A tone of green looks like this. I love being able to mix my colors. Thinking about this as being a monochromatic color scale, I'm changing my one color of green into so many other different colors. So again, hue plus gray equals tone. There we go, we have it. This is my end in mind. That's how you'll mix your colors today, practicing using a monochromatic scale. Hope you have fun.